was showing bunt, gets a slider, doesn't want to strike out in friends and family, hits home run number 31. He truly is on to an MVP campaign. Charlie Blackmon, a guy that at 30 years old has taken his career to a whole nother level.
Now, Cargo's back in the lineup today, and I don't want to overlook what he did to start the inning. He had a sharp single to center on a plus fastball. We haven't seen a lot of that.
We need to see Carlos Gonzalez get hot, and in fact, in the month of August, he's hitting 288. But that swing last night, fastball down and in where he's not handled it at all, that's a good sign. We're just hopeful that we'll get to see that Cargo back.
It is John Gray. It is Mike Foltynewicz, who the Rockies beat up when they saw him a couple of weeks ago. Colorado at Atlanta. Come on back to SunTrust Park with us on a beautiful Sunday. And welcome back to SunTrust Park as we ready ourselves for a little afternoon baseball. The Rockies and Braves. Rockies trying to win their first road series since taking 2 of 3 in Washington toward the end of July. And with a victory today, it would be their 71st of 2017. Mike Foltynewicz making his way to the Braves mound here in Cobb County, and I'll tell you what, this is a guy that's had a roller coaster ride this year, and of late it has not been good. 2 starts ago he faced the Rockies and he was gone after 97 pitches and 3 1/3. Spilly, the Rockies got 8 runs off him, 9 hits on their way to a 17-2 victory.
Not good, but they had a stretch, as you mentioned, May 12th through July 25th. He was 9-1 in 14 starts with a 3.56 ERA. He has big-time stuff. A very good fastball, has a good slider, the changeup and the curveball. For me, listening to the Rockies hitters, they said last year when the first time they saw him that he had some of the best stuff they saw the entire season. The Braves are expecting him to match up well today against John Gray. rubber games for the Braves over the course of this season. They are 3-8. The Rockies in series finales have done pretty well, 22-19.
He's got a big arm, the 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He'll throw the slider also. He struggles with left-handed batters. He has throughout his career. They've hit .298 against him in his career, and this year they're hitting .311 with an OPS of almost 900. Charlie Blackmon, surprisingly, is just 1 for 11 against Foltynewicz.
That'll change.
That typically will change. Last night, Charlie hit that huge 2-run home run in the 9th inning on a 1-2 pitch. He hit it against Arodys Vizcaíno. First pitch of the afternoon is in there for strike 1 on the outside corner. .31 home runs and now 82 driven in, which matches his total from last year. That fastball at 99 miles an hour.
Well, if he's going to pitch like that, Rockies are going to have a tough time, especially if he's commanding fastball top of the zone.
He throws another one up there, 98. Game time temperature beneath 80 degrees. How about that? 78. Foltynewicz, big strong kid, 6'4", 200 pounds, 25, and Charlie bounces that one foul. Originally a draft pick of Houston, came in the Evan Gattis deal. His last outing wasn't a heck of a lot better after the Rockies beat him up at Coors Field. At home, he lost to Seattle, giving up 6 runs in 5 1/3. And there's a base hit for Charlie. Good start for the Rockies. Charlie takes a hard turn. They'll bring it back to first base. That'll set up DJ LeMahieu's 13th at bat against Mike Foltynewicz. Here's the Southwest batting order. DJ, coming off a huge ball game, is 10 for 12. I did not misspeak. 10 for 12 against Foltynewicz. And then it's Nato, El Yolo, the Sheriff, Cargo, Joe, of course.
Come on, Joe.
Tony and the Gray Wolf. You know what you'd like to see early, especially with this combination, whether it's straight steal or hit and run, put some pressure on that Atlanta defense out of the gate.
DJ showed bunt. Brandon Phillips took 1 step in and then retreated right back to his normal spot.
Wasn't buying it?
No, but DJ, every time a right-handed hitter looks down there towards the doctor, Stu Cole, he's also paying attention to where the third baseman's standing.
There's the doctor.
That feel-good BP.
Got to have it from a player's perspective. That fastball's down, 2-1. We mentioned this last time Foltynewicz threw. He's still a young guy, and sometimes he struggles to harness his emotions when things do not go well. And that's called a strike, so it's 2-2. DJ jackknife, but it was on the inside corner, as you can see on the Subaru strike zone. Whoa, that'll get your attention. 3-2.
So far, no movement from Charlie and DJ.
You got to figure Charlie will be moving here.
And the catcher's core for the Braves have not thrown out a lot of people this year.
Charlie takes off. Pitch was fouled off. Charlie, as he goes back to the bag, looking at Stu Cole to see if it's still on. A guy like Charlie will have the green light unless he sees a sign that's a stoplight. But if they want him to go 3-2, Spilly, they're going to let him know. There he goes again, and it's a line shot double play. Well, we saw the Braves hit into one of those yesterday. It was Freddie Freeman who just caught that ball. He lined into a double play last night, and that was almost identical. That's a shame. If he pops off the bag a little bit further, that's down the right field line, and Charlie may very well score because he was in motion. Instead, it's 2 outs. Bad break, but here's the good news. The Rockies have hit 2 line drives out of the gate against Foltynewicz. Nolan takes the strike. Arenado also just 1 for 9 against Foltynewicz. You're probably saying, well, who did all the damage a couple weeks ago? Well, DJ with the 10 hits certainly was in the middle of things. Carr goes 3 for 9 with a home run against Foltynewicz. Ball and 2 strikes on Arenado. Nolan 2 for 5 yesterday, including a double, his 39th double of the year. 1 shy of the major league lead. Jose Ramirez of Cleveland has 40. In shallow left field, it's Dansby Swanson making the catch, and Foltynewicz, though he gave up a hit, is out of the first inning. From inning number 1, which means John Gray's on the mound for the Rockies, trying to win for the 6th time this year. He had a solid performance against Kansas City, but the Rockies fell short. This will be his 15th start of the year. For more on John Gray, here's my partner, everybody, Ryan Spilborghs.
Well, let's take a look at his stuff. What's in the tank is brought to you by Conoco. Fastball usage 58%, 96 miles an hour. He loves to use the slider at 28%. In fact, in his last outing, used the slider 40% of the time. The curveball is now a weapon. The changeup has always been a work in progress.
Yeah, it was almost 50-50. It was really interesting with his slider and his fastball against Kansas City. Let's see what he has in store today. And sometimes it's not necessarily game plan. It's feel for a pitch on a given day. Here's Ender Inciarte, and he takes a fastball at 95 for strike 1, right on the black. Good pitch. One reason he throws that slider a lot, the league hitting just 161 against it. And his fastball's fouled off, and quickly John is ahead. Want the fastball up, and they get a strikeout on it. Good job, Tony Walters. Good job, John Gray, executing that pitch. 3 pitches and a punch out of Ender Inciarte. Let's take a look at the Southwest lineup for Brian Snitker's Braves. Brandon Phillips, who's riding an 11-game hitting streak, and that dude will be coming up right now. Then it's Freddie Freeman. And Nick Markakis, Kurt Suzuki's back in there. He homered in the ballgame Friday night. Big City's Matt Adams. He homered off the bench last night. Ozzie Albies and Dansby Swanson has really given the Braves the last week and a half a lift toward the bottom of that order. They've both been swinging the bat very, very well. So here's Phillips. He grounded into a 6-4-3 double play to end that ball game, and you heard a collective sigh of relief coming from the Rocky Mountain region. The Rockies began the bottom of the ninth with a comfortable 7-4 lead, and then Adams off the bench hit the 2-run home run. And then there was a base hit after that by Inciarte, and all of a sudden you're looking at Phillips, and if he goes deep, it's a loss. Fortunately, he did not against Jake McGee, and Jake came out firing BBs out of that bullpen. He knew it was on.
97 miles an hour. We talked to him after the game. He said he was having fun.
And he said, you know what helped him also? He told us that he was warming up in the 8th inning, if fans recall, and so he was really loose by the time he went in the ball game. Jake's been around the block a couple times. He knew what it was all about.
The first ball of the game thrown by John Gray, and didn't miss by much.
Nope. Here's the 1-2 on Phillips. Slider count. It is a slider. It's in the dirt. Rockies will return home after the ball game. Get ready for the Detroit Tigers tomorrow. See who's available for Detroit after that brawl with the Yankees a couple days ago. Now 3-2. And a strikeout of Phillips. I don't think he located that pitch necessarily where he wanted it, but it worked out. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Freddie Freeman. Here's the Rockies defensively. Carr goes back in there in right field. He had that pinch hit in the 9th inning to lead the inning off, and then Blackman followed with a home run, and he went into right field. Parr and Blackman join him. Arenado, Story, LeMahieu, Reynolds in the infield with Tony Walters. The only change in addition to Cargo from last night. He's behind the plate. Here's Freeman, 323 average, 22 jacks, 54 driven in. And that fastball in on the hands at 97. A little bit of cut on it, Spilly, huh?
Sometimes he'll get to the side of the baseball when he's trying to go inside, and the ball will naturally cut. I have Freddie Freeman and Matt Adams as being the 2 batters in the Braves lineup to pay attention to today. Freeman's hitting .350 against righties on the season. Matt Adams has done all of his damage, .294 against righties with all of his homers.
And lefties are hitting .311 against Gray. Righties at .254. That's a good pitch. One ball, 2 strikes. Goes fastball again, 2-2. Freeman leading the league against left-handed batters. There's Gerardo and Charlie on that list. Three and two.
The ball's coming out of John Gray's hand. Nice today.
Yeah, he's got
a little extra giddy up.
He's got some giddy up on that heater. 3-2. He's just sitting on 97. That's kind of nice. That was you back at Santa Barbara High, just sitting on 97. 97 kilometers an hour.
IQ.
That also. Oh, stop.
I think it's higher than that. It's got to be.
And a walk to Freeman. You did throw hard in high school. You pitched. You closed, right?
I was a starter.
Oh, you were a starter?
Yeah. Pitching's the best.
Except when it isn't.
Except when it isn't. Yeah, it stinks. You're in control of the game. The game can't go until you throw the baseball.
Should have reminded Steve Traxel of that. Nick Markakis with 2 outs and Freeman at first. Got to watch Freddie. Every once in a while, he'll steal a bag on you. And Markakis fouls that off. 0-1 on the longtime Baltimore Oriole. But he's a Georgia kid, so coming to Atlanta made sense.
We still didn't get to the bottom of Charlie Blackmon and Nick Markakis have ever crossed paths. Markakis went to Young Harris Junior College, and that's where Charlie Blackmon went to junior college before he transferred to Georgia Tech.
One strike on Markakis. And now 2 strikes. John has flirted with dominant starts of late, and we so frequently say there always seems to be one inning. You know, he went 6 2/3 in Kansas City, gave up 2 earned runs on 6 hits. Previous start against Atlanta, 2 runs over 6 innings. You'd love to see one of those naturally, one of those 8 innings, no runs or 1 run, just where it's completely dominant. And you know he's capable of that. We've seen it before. Still a very young starter. We were chatting earlier, you know, when he goes into next year, Spilly, and hopefully John can go out and make 32, 33 starts in 2018, it would be his first full year if he were able to do that. He's always had the season interrupted by some type of injury. This year it was a broken foot. Oh, 2 on Markakis. Freeman goes, and it's fouled off the foot of Nick.
John has talked about it. He said there's been times this season where he's lost focus in an inning, and it's unraveled for him.
It's all, you make a wonderful point. It's why sometimes I think fans will see a pitcher with, you know, really, you know, an electric arm, great stuff, and say, why is that guy automatically a reliever as opposed to a starter? And some of it, not necessarily all of it. Here's Freeman going. Tony, a good exchange, and he throws out Freddie Freeman. Quick hands, quick feet from Tony Walters. He cuts down Freeman. We'll finish that story when we come back. We'll go to inning number 2. No score in Atlanta, GA. We're at SunTrust Park.
Players Weekend, no score. There's Abby. She was helping me out with my nickname, Teapot. Now, this was plan A, just to use some white tape on the back and go with that today. And then we tried some tape, and then I ended up with plan C, which is it's written in silver Sharpie and safety pinned to my back. This is the best I can do for the Players Weekend, but I felt like I needed to get involved.
I like Mark,
Goody and Spilly.
I like it. Have you told the story yet? And Buddy nailed it today when we were visiting with him as to why your nickname's Teapot.
You know, it actually goes back to when I was doing classic rock radio in Buffalo, and a birthday way, way long ago, I said to the listeners, "What should I be? What should I get for a tat on my arm?" And they said, "Well, your little teapot, short and
stout."
Right,
wow!
Right.
But Buddy got that.
He did. He
which
did.
led us to like a 15-minute conversation about old game shows.
Yeah, and hold on, going back because Mark Stout is inked up with a teapot tattoo.
This ball is ripped through the right side. Gerardo Parra leadoff single.
That was tattooed.
Against Fultonevich. That was tattooed. That's nice, Mark. Very nice. Teapot is on his game. There's the ink. Mark was on a budget back then, obviously, when he got that tat.
Hey, that was done in the studio on the air because the listeners wanted it, and it was, as I said, it was a long time ago, a milestone birthday for me when, you know, tattoos were kind of really just getting in vogue, and I felt like I needed
we're going to
one.
pass the teapot around a little bit and see if we can get that enhanced a little bit for you. Big swing and a miss from Mark Reynolds. So very quickly, to finish the story from last inning, we're talking about guys with electric arms and why they end up in the bullpen. Sometimes they don't have, you know, the secondary stuff, but sometimes, not always, sometimes it's a focus issue where if you're going to be a starting pitcher, you have to maintain focus for 2.5 hours probably, at least.
And that's why some of the great ones, you can see it. You don't talk to them the day of the game. They get their mind right. Even when they're in the dugout, they become a different animal. They take on a different persona. We've seen it. It's appreciated when you see a starting pitcher that has that.
This ball is loud to deep center field, and Inciarte runs it down. What a catch. Parra was already to second base, has to come back.
Wow.
Well, Inciarte has won a Gold Glove, and here's why. There are not many center fielders who get to this.
Not off the bat. Mark Reynolds squares it up. You see the perfect route that Inciarte goes, waits till the last second before he reaches out. That allows him to keep his stride. Fantastic play on the Subaru Supermo. You see how he waits till the last second for the ball to come closer, and then he stretches out.
So the Rockies have sent 5 to the plate. 4 have hit the ball on the button. Here's Cargo. He takes a strike at 96. One thing we noticed when we reviewed Cargo's swing last night, replayed it, is it was a shorter leg lift, Spilly, and you were really impressed how he got to that fastball yesterday.
He put himself in a little ball, and by ball I'm talking about his body. He tightened it up. The knee, the front knee went towards the back knee. At times during the season, his leg lift would be straight up and he'd naturally just fall forward.
Not truly loading then.
Right.
Getting on your backside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Parra is at first, shift on, and Cargo swings and misses there, 1-2. So Charlie had a sharp single. DJ lined into a double play, couldn't have hit it any harder. Nolan popped out. Parra a sharp single, and of course Mark smothered that ball to right center field. That's one of those ones we talk about launch angle. You're trying to hit the ball hard, you know. If Mark gets under that another degree, he's trotting around the bases. No swing. Boy, you got to be strong to stop your momentum, especially Cargo, because he gets so wound up, but he did hold up. 3-2.
Good slider down in. He holds up with the check swing. Last night, DJ's home run was 99 miles an hour off the bat. Mark Reynolds, that ball he just hit to center field, 101 miles an hour off the bat. That's why this game is so funny. That's why you hear guys say, nice swing, out.
3-2 on Cargo. This upcoming pitch will be number 8 of the encounter. And ball 4. So Cargo, who's drawn more walks of late as the averages come up in the month of August, the walk rate has risen also. 2 on, 1 out. And here comes Trevor Story.
When the walk rate goes up, it's telling you that he's seen the ball better. 288 in the month of August for Cargo as far as his batting average. You're looking at the bottom of the lineup needing to get some production for Story last night. Talk about a big at bat.
Trevor yesterday had a 2-run double in the 5th inning. He ended up walking a couple more times. He takes a strike. And on Friday, he also had a double and scored. Fans, join in on the conversation. Send us your statements, questions, photos. Use Twitter or Instagram at AT&T Sportsnet RM. Don't forget to use the hashtag Toyota Talk. Story drives this ball toward left center field, and nobody's going to catch this one. Here comes Parra. Going to third is Cargo. And another double for Trevor Story, and that's exactly what the Rockies not only need here, but need down the stretch. Production, middle, lower third of the lineup, and Trevor has provided it against the Braves in this series.
Trevor's getting some pitches he can handle. He's waiting back. See how he's sitting on his backside. Parra and Cargo, it took them a while before they really made an attempt to start running because of Ender Inciarte in center field. You're not sure if he's going to catch it or not. Trevor against right-handers on the season's hitting below 200. That'll now take him up over 200.
Boy, that's a big swing of the bat. Rockies break on top 1-0. You want something to show for all the hard-hit balls.
Let's see if Tony Wolters can make a productive out or if they're going to decide to just walk him. First base is open. You got the pitcher on deck, but then you're forced to face Charlie Blackmon.
And because of Charlie's presence, they are going to face Tony Wolters here. And Tony, as you said, needs to get it in play. The infield's back. They're conceding a run. You have solid average speed. And the scouts like to say at third base and Cargo. One and one on Wolters. Tony swung it well when he went down to Albuquerque. Hit a couple home runs down there. One. Outside 2-1. Three hits already for the Rockies. 2-2.
And Tony had a pitch right there to put in play and just missed it. For the season, Tony's been very good with runners in scoring position. 297 batting average, right below the team's average of 300.
Fouled off a tough pitch there. 2-2. See the Subaru strike zone. Over 20 pitches now in the inning for Foltynewicz. Kid from San Diego hanging tough. This is one of those at-bats you think about in a ball game. It's early, but can the Rockies get a second run home at minimum, because you have the pitcher on deck? And not going to happen with Tony. He strikes out. Well, Foltynewicz wins the battle, and now John Gray will come up with 2 gone. Folks, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 to receive your Rockies taco special. Live Mas at Taco Bell. And you can do it today because the Rockies had a 7th spot last night. Yeah, that's a pretty nice hack there by Gray. We've seen a few of those this year, including that home run that went 467 feet to dead center field at Coors Field and ticked off all the position players like Spilly.
Never hit a ball that far.
1-1.
Luckily, Mark Reynolds took it back from him. Mark Reynolds has the longest home run.
Yeah, Mark went 10 feet past that. Is it me, or does it seem like the last month or so the Rockies have not done a really good job getting that productive out?
Oh, it's true.
There's so many empty at bats, and we're talking about strikeouts when any type of ball, just about any type of ball in play, is going to result in a run. It's a hard game. Last guy who wanted to strike out was Tony Walters there.
Oh, it's those at bats right there, because the Rockies have not scored more than 3 runs in several of the games on the road of late. In fact, we noted yesterday's 7-run outburst was the first time the Rockies scored 4 runs, more than 4, since Washington.
A called strike 3 ends the inning. The Rockies do get a run on the double by Trevor Story. So they have a 1-0 lead, 2 left in scoring position, however. Colorado Rockies baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by the 2017 Toyota Tundra in your hometown Toyota stores. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. By UC Health, live extraordinary. And by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Getting ready to hit again is Nick Markakis. He was at the plate when Freddie Freeman was cut down trying to steal. Rockies up 1-0 on the Story double. Would have loved to have added one more on in that second inning. Markakis, born in Glen Cove, Long Island. Lived on Long Island till moving to Georgia. Went to Woodstock High School here in Georgia. He was drafted late a couple of times out of junior college, and then after the Reds drafted him on a couple of occasions, 35th round, 23rd round, the Orioles drafted him in the first round with the 7th pick in 2003. He says, this is better. I think there's better money here.
That's a big jump.
That's a big jump. 2-0 on Markakis. And 3-0. Spilly, I should know this. You went to Santa Barbara. You had a great high school career at Santa Barbara High, but you did not get drafted out of high school, right?
Did not.
Skinny kid.
Like,
scrawny.
You know, it's funny. So
3-1.
I'm in high school. I'm filling out these draft cards from different teams, and it's asking you what round would you want to get signed in. And there was a guy that was drafted the year before me out of San Marcos High School, Robert Stratton. And I felt like I was better than him. Robert Stratton was drafted by the Mets. He was 6'4", hit the ball 500 feet. But I was a better player. I said, hey, I'm better than this guy, so you need to draft me in the first round. I was probably I guarantee you I was the laughingstock of the scouting community.
Well, you got there eventually.
But I thought I was a first rounder.
That's all right. You want people who believe in themselves. Here's the 3-2, and that's a jam shot ground ball. Mark Reynolds nicely to John Gray, just like you do it on March 1st in spring training. 1 out.
Here's his start last year in Atlanta. Really dominated. Probably one of his best starts he's had in the major leagues. 7 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, 3 walks, no earned runs. Remember that start and saying, ow.
Yeah, he had the real good slider. Ask Freddie Freeman about it. 1 out, and Kurt Suzuki at the plate. Suzuki on Friday hit his 15th home run of the year, which matches his career best set back in 2009. He gets a curveball for a strike. John breaks that out. 2009 with the A's, Suzuki had 15 home runs. But when he did that, he did it over 570 plate appearances. He has 15 jacks this year and 191 at bats. That's something. 0-2 on Suzuki.
Look out. Foul ball almost hit
Matt
the
Adams.
Big City.
Yeah, Big City ducked after the ball already ricocheted off the screen. It was past him when he reacted.
Ball off the bat. Heads up, Big City. It's actually Slim City. Lost about 25 pounds this offseason.
That bounces up there. Yeah, he does look leaned out a little bit.
The nickname Big City was given to him from the Big Puma, Lance Berkman, in his time with the St. Louis Cardinals.
That was a good nickname, too, the Big Puma. Berkman, a great star at Rice. Houston kid, got to play for the Astros for most of his career. That worked out nicely. That bat will no longer work.
Well, thoughts and prayers out to people in Texas.
Yeah, no question. And it's, I know the storm, the hurricane, Harvey, is no longer a hurricane, but they're supposed to get torrential rain for another 3 days, and there's already significant flooding. Exactly what you said. All of our thoughts and well wishes to the folks in southeastern Texas. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Suzuki. Easy heat at 98, but too tall.
I want to go back to Lance Berkman. Lance Berkman spent an offseason working on his swing by throwing bats off the back deck of his home.
Really? That's a base hit over Mark Reynolds. First hit for the Braves. 1 out, a base runner for Atlanta, and Matt Adams coming up. He threw bats off the back deck, so he had some property because he wasn't like throwing them at his neighbor's house.
Now he's just reaching back and trying to throw the bat as far as he could forward. It's a good way to get the bat through the zone. Here's the pitch to Kurt Suzuki. Good piece of hitting. Pitch mislocation, but not by much.
This ball's well hit to left field. Parra going back, and he makes the catch. Gerardo Parra with a beautiful grab. Probably shocked Matt Adams.
The Venezuelans are on defense today. Ender Inciarte in center field, and now Gerardo Parra, El Yolo. Pointed out, Matt Adams was one of the batters that I was worried about, just based on his success against righties this season. What a good first step by Gerardo. With Supermo fully stretched out.
Wonderful catch by Parra. Always gets great reads and clean routes to the baseball. Also blessed with one of the better arms in Major League Baseball. Ozzie Albies hit another triple last night, his 4th already since being called up. In fact, Albies has a 7-game hitting streak going in which he's 12 for 25. Two outs in the 0-1, and this is on the ground to DJ, and his sure hands has it and fires over to Reynolds. We'll go to the 3rd. The Rockies leading 1-0. Top of the order coming. Nothing, and Charlie Blackmon, who had a sharp single to center, will get a second look this afternoon at Mike Foltynewicz. It is time for the Unlimited Baseball Break, brought to you by T-Mobile. The Rockies' top 3, as you know, have been splendid. By average, they're number 1 in baseball. They're second when it comes to on-base percentage, slugging, and OPS, above 900. The Astros have a tremendous lineup. They're number 1. Ribby's number 1, 247. Our unlimited baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. So Blackmon, who's leading the National League in hitting. He's second to Jose Altuve in hitting in the big leagues. He's got the second highest slugging percentage in the big leagues also. A very unusual combination for a guy who bats leadoff. 31 home runs. And slugging percentage at .621. 2-0. And Charlie checked his swing. It's 3-0. Stanton leading in slugging at .660. That's why we keep saying, when you are talking about an MVP, as Charlie walks on 4 pitches in the National League, the conversation must include Charlie Blackmon in addition to Nolan, Paul Goldschmidt. You can throw Joey Votto in there, Bryce Harper.
It's just been locked in at the plate. I mean, nobody can remember the last time you saw a poor at bat from Charlie Blackmon.
They don't happen. LeMahieu smoked a line drive right at Freddie Freeman and turned into a double play.
DJ showed bunt again, and Brandon Phillips was laughing at him at third base.
One of the things is that's in there for a strike that you really appreciate about Brandon Phillips, and it's so necessary. Spilly, you would know, you got to have fun playing this game. It beats the heck out of you mentally. It beats you up physically. You've got to put a smile on your face, and Brandon always does.
That dude always has a smile on his face.
1-2. And he's having fun playing a position he played one time in the low minor leagues, third base. He's always been a second baseman, but he's enjoying playing over there. He's done a good job. See what Charlie's going to do here. 1-2. Not going, and it's inside. 2-2. How about LeMahieu? 4 home runs going to the ball game last night. He throws out 2 in the same game. First time in his career. And it's now 3-2 on LeMahieu. So each of the Rockies infielders have a multi-home run game this year. Jeff Baker was the last second baseman to have a multi-home run game back in '06. Charlie takes off. That's fouled off. And it's not only all the starting infielders. Your backup shortstop, Patty Barrels, has a multi-home run game.
That's right. I loved Mark Stout's interview with Charlie and DJ, the Atlanta boys, yesterday, because Charlie was going, DJ, foul pole to foul pole.
Yeah, he loves giving DJ a hard time. That's going to be a base hit. He's incredible. So a good start to the inning. Nolan coming up, runners at first and second. And so I want to clarify, because we always talk about the first second situation, and people who watch the Rockies know that Spilly is a big proponent. The only time where you sack bunt because it's the only time you give up an out where your percentage actually rises slightly that you'll score. However, I'm sure the folks that listen to you carefully, and well they should, are wondering, okay, you don't do it though with Nolan, surely.
If you just throw a wet blanket on it, yes, you would do it with Nolan as well.
So you would have him bunt right here?
If I'm just playing percentages, I'm not looking at whoever's on deck.
I didn't ask you that. I'm asking you if you're sitting there and your buddy Black.
I mean, I'm trying to score runs here. Yes.
1 ball, 1 strike. That's what I like about you. You're sticking to your convictions. I'm having him swing away, though. I like the 3-run home run card.
We all do. That's why people disagree with.
But I'd have Parra, and it's not a knock on Gerardo. He's had a brilliant year. I'd have him bunt.
Yeah, I mean, so the whole idea is to try to score as many runs as possible. And I get that. By bunting right here, you lower the run expectancy. But you're increasing your odds of scoring at least 1 run.
1-2 on Nolan. Foltynewicz has struck out a couple, but he's gotten ahead of hitters, and then next time you look up, it's 3-2. He's been able to consistently put guys away. So Nolan back in the count, 2-2. Blackman a walk, DJ a single. Rockies up 1-0. And that ball is lined toward left center field, and it's going to be caught out there by Adams. That'll bring up Parra. Gerardo 3 for 7 against Foltynewicz, including a base hit to right in the second inning, and Gerardo ultimately scored the Rockies' run on a double by Story. Last 2 months he's hitting almost 380. And he's great with runners in scoring position as well. Well, the 2 guys you want up, right? Nolan at 413. Nolan hit it hard, lined out. And now Parra.
Gotta have those guys that just have the nose for it, the knack. Second time that Gerardo has forced Foltynewicz to slow his pace down.
Oh, 1. Gerardo checking with Teddy Barrett. He wanted to make sure he swung at a strike. Barrett said it was in there. Rockies have had traffic each inning against Foltynewicz. And fortunately, it was not held by Suzuki.
A little extra giddy up behind that pitch. I don't think Foltynewicz was too pleased with Parra twice trying to slow down his pace as he's waiting right there for him.
Foltynewicz will occasionally give up the long ball. And Suzuki did hold that one. Now there's 2 outs, and it'll be left to Mark Reynolds, who was robbed of extra bases on a great catch in deep right center field by Ender Inciarte.
Take a behind-the-scenes tour of Coors Field. Group and individual tickets available year-round. Call 303 Rockies.
Line out and a strikeout, and it's up to Reynolds. First fastball misses at 99. Foltynewicz closing in on 70 pitches, and he's not out of the 3rd inning. That's what the Rockies did to him while scoring runs in Denver. He threw 97 pitches in a little over 3 innings.
For the season, Fultonevich averages about 18 pitches per inning.
Two and one on Reynolds. 27 home runs, 85 driven in. Trying to add to those numbers. 3-1. Cargo on deck.
See if Reynolds can take advantage of a hitter's count.
Ball 4. So they're loaded up now for Carlos Gonzalez, who also walked his first time. That's the 3rd walk issued by Fultonevich. And we remind you that lefties have hit at a .311 clip against Fultonevich this year.
311 with 10 home runs. And here comes Cargo, who on the season has struggled against righties way lower than his career average, 249, and in this situation with runners in scoring position, sitting below 200, 188.
One strike on Cargo. Blackman at third, LeMahieu at second, Reynolds at first. 1-0 Colorado. Big opening on the left side. 3 infielders on the right side. Two strikes. Fultonevich living on the edge. And a 3-pitch strikeout, and the Rockies do not score despite the fact that they had the first 2 guys reach. A lot of traffic, not a lot of guys crossing home plate. 1-0 Colorado. Desmond has played a couple ball games there. This afternoon he will play shortstop. Rockies will reevaluate him after the ball game today. Jesus Tinoco has gotten hot. He came in the Tulowitzki deal. It was kind of the unspoken prospect that came, and he had a great year in Nashville 2 years ago after the trade. Last year he struggled, but he's been good in Lancaster and really good of late. So good for the 6'4" right-hander Jesus Tinoco.
And Lancaster is not an easy place to pitch.
Tough ballpark to pitch in. And the Rockies like that. It's their first year in Lancaster because, you know, if you can get through Lancaster, Asheville against left-handed hitters, Albuquerque, obviously, as Swanson swings and misses at 0-2, you're going to be set up to pitch at Coors Field.
Yeah, none of those fields are doing any favors to pitchers. That's kind of a interesting philosophy. You want the guys to have confidence, but then if they understand that they just made it through
the gauntlet of
minor league baseball.
Sure. Breaking ball just missed, 1-2. It's like SEAL training. All those guys are worthy, but some are more worthy than others, and you want to weed out the ones that have any potential shortcoming, and some of that's mental toughness. Big part of it's mental toughness. 1-2 on the ground, foul. Ron Washington still got it. Fielded it out front with his hands. Good job, Ron.
Ron Washington every day, about 45 minutes before the Braves take batting practice, comes out here and spends about 10 minutes with each individual fielder. It takes him through a routine.
Swanson is gone. That is strikeout number 3 for John Gray.
Dansby Swanson's been swinging it very well in August, 314, but has no chance of hitting that slider.
That's typically the strikeout pitch for John Gray, though his fastball and his curveball are so good he gets them on those deliveries as well. That'll bring up Fulton Nevich. Tell you another story about Ron Washington, a conversation we were having 2 days ago. With all of the rain, and they may get, it's just incredible to me. They say some places in Texas may receive 50 inches of rain. Ron's from New Orleans, born and raised, still lives there with his wife. And he lives in part of the 9th Ward, and his house was saved in Katrina, but the damage that it did incur kept him out of his home for 3 years. Think about that. Two and one on the Atlanta pitcher, Mike Fultonevich. So you know Ron has great empathy for what's going on right now in Houston, Galveston, that whole area.
Some of the pictures I've been seeing on Twitter there's no words for it.
No. 2-2, swung on and missed. 2 gone. That'll bring up Enciarte representing the top of the order. 2 out in the 3rd. Rockies leading 1-0.
On the Jumbotron, they have this feature with the Braves. They ask each Braves player what they would like to do in their spare time. Ender Inciarte wants to go skiing. He's from Venezuela.
Snow skiing? Well, come to Colorado. Plenty good skiing. 1-0 Rockies. Sportsnet is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By Bonfils, it takes all types to save lives, give blood. By Coors Light, whatever your mountain, climb on. And by the Wyoming Office of Tourism. Wyoming is full of adventure. It's time to find out if you are too. That's why. Travel Wyoming.com. We've traveled to Atlanta, Georgia. The new home of the Braves in Cobb County, SunTrust Park. Pretty facility. Got to walk around today. They did a really nice job with their monument area, where they honor all the former Brave greats. And there's that fine statue of Henry Aaron. First pitch swinging for Story, and he pops out to the catcher, Suzuki. I think Mark talked about it. They have 755 at-bats, all with Henry Aaron, Louisville Sluggers, all with Henry Aaron's signature on the end, right? And it makes out 755. And there's a statue of the great Hank Aaron. They have a bunch of exhibits there. And Braves have a nice history. Go way back, obviously 100 years ago when they were playing in Boston. 3 world championships, the last coming in 1995 for Bobby Cox. 2 strikes quickly on Tony Walters. Tony struck out swinging with runners at second and third and 1 out in the second. Rockies have left 5 on base. 4 in scoring position. They have a 1-0 lead, and Walters gets overmatched on that fastball. Strikeout number 5 for Foltynewicz.
The Rockies and AT&T Sportsnet will host a Bonfils blood drive tomorrow from 12 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. at Coors Field. For more information on how to sign up, visit bonfils.org.
When's Mark doing the zip line? Because I went, as I said, around the ballpark today, and they have a bunch of interactive carnival-like, with baseball theme, but carnival-like games for the kids, and I saw the zip line.
Did you go on it?
No, there was a line.
Yeah, it's a zip line.
Yeah.
So did you go on it?
No, there was a line on the zip line.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah, no. Oh, if I did that, then I'm Trump stout. I didn't want to do that. I want to upset the little teapot. 2-2. You know what's coming up though with Mark?
What?
Another 3-2 count on Gray. He had a 3-2 count and was frozen on a fastball his last time up. Another rendition of Mark Stout interviewing Katie Blackman.
Yes.
That, don't go anywhere, folks. That is immediately.
It's TV gold.
Following our next commercial break.
You want to see our teapot get awkward? It's going to be sweet.
That John taking some big old hacks. 86 pitches in now for Foltynewicz, who's had 5 full counts, and he's walked 3 in the game. But the Rockies have nicked him for only 1 run. All right, yell it, Spilly. Win the battle.
Win the battle, John. Let's go. He's already won it by.
He has, no matter what the outcome is. It's made him fire 7 or 8 bullets here. Foltynewicz, he gets a strikeout, and I just read his body language a little bit going off, frustrated that he couldn't put the pitcher down.
Sports 1-0 Rockies. There is Charlie Blackmon in his college years at Georgia Tech here in Atlanta. And Chuck, of course, is wearing his Chuck Nasty and playing center field. And he's right in front of where I am with Katie Blackmon, Kate Nasty. It's always good to catch up with you here in Atlanta.
Hey, Mark.
And you have some family members here. Who's here?
Why don't you tell him?
Abigail,
Who else, Abigail?
Andrew,
This is your family? This is your mom's side of the family.
Yeah, this is my first cousin, Leanne.
So you're right here in front of Charlie Blackmon, Chuck Nasty. Do you like the Chuck Nasty name? I'll take that as a yes. How have you been, Katie? Did you go to Georgia Tech?
No.
Are you still working? What is that at the hot tamale or the what was it? The spicy?
It's called the Raging Burrito.
Are you still working there? Are you?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were still in Atlanta or what.
Yeah, I still live here.
What do you think of the new ballpark? Because I think when I last talked to you at Turner Field, you were a little on the fence about the move.
It's really nice. It's just so not in Atlanta anymore. So there's that.
So what else have you do? I think Charlie told me you had a big vacation or a big trip this year.
Yeah, we went to Asia actually. We went to Hong Kong and Japan.
Did you see any baseball games there?
Sure didn't.
No way.
Didn't come up.
There's a base hit. Braves get a leadoff hit. I saw on your Twitter feed that are a lot of guys trying to mansplain to you the game of baseball?
Yeah, every now and then that comes up.
Like what? What do they ask you?
Just in general.
Like, hey, do you know what a sac fly is?
People like to tell me what my brother's stats are for me, so I get that a lot. So.
How often have you been in Denver this year?
I haven't.
Because I thought there was a rumor out there that you might be moving to Denver.
Sure isn't.
Maybe that's because I started it.
Probably, just now.
Right, just now. You know all his stats, right, of course?
Most of them, the ones that I care about.
Which are those?
Well, we're leading the triples, for example.
I like the we.
Yeah, I take credit for that.
How often do you talk to Chuck?
Probably about once a week.
Anything planned with him in the offseason? Because the last time I heard your plans were the All-Star game. That kind of fell through a couple of years back.
I went this year. Did you hear that?
I did it. Tell me how it went.
It was fun. It was a good time.
You were down in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Let's watch this pitch. You want to call it?
It's a ball.
Thank you. All right, so there's nothing else I need to know about Katie Blackmon?
I don't have a lot going on right now, Mark. What's going on with you?
Traveling with the team, hoping that they get in the postseason.
Yeah, me too, me too.
You'll be there for that.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to San Diego next month. I'm really excited.
So maybe if I see you in San Diego, we'll talk again. But it's always good to catch up with you.
You too, Mark.
Thanks, Katie.
Where's the theme music? Another rousing rendition of Mark and Katie.
Yes.
I love it. I mean, I love it.
Abigail, thank you.
you're welcome.
Nice purple glasses, too.
Don't you like the purple hair?
Yeah, purple hair, too.
Mark
Fantastic.
and
Yes.
Katie, take two.
I mean, it's
There's a strike on Freddie. He didn't like that. 1-2.
he still has his hands on his hip. That sure won't get you the next borderline pitch.
Brandon Phillips at first, a leadoff single. That was nice. Katie took credit, and well, she should, I guess,
Yeah.
for some of Charlie's exploits this year. Keeping track of his triples. One shy of the Rockies' record of 15 set by Dexter Fowler. Freeman strikes out. Big strikeout for Gray. One gone. And that'll bring up Markakis, another tough lefty.
This is
the
John
fifth strikeout.
Yeah, this is John Gray's best slider, the back foot slider, down and in. It's perfectly located. For a lefty, that pitch out of the hand, just the way that John Gray throws it, doesn't slow his body down, make sure his arm swing is the same as his fastball. There's no way to pick up the spin.
One and 0 on Inciarte. Rockies up 1-0. They've out-hit Atlanta 4-2. Inciarte takes a strike. Excuse me, Markakis. I keep calling him Inciarte. My bad.
Lefty. They stand similar.
And that's about it. Two balls and a strike on Markakis. Rockies under 500 in the month of August. Trying to turn that around with a few days left. They've been at or above 500 every month this year. There's a strike. The only winning month for the Braves was June. They went 16-12 in the month of June. Got to 500, 45-45, but it's been a rough ride for Atlanta since then. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Nick Markakis. And Phillips leaning a little bit. Angel Hernandez gets down on one knee and says he was safe.
Barely able to squeeze his hand in. That's why you slide to the back side of the bag. It makes it more difficult for the first baseman to tag you because of the distance.
2 guys in particular from the right side have quick feet in the Rockies rotation. John Gray, Jeff Hoffman. Swung on and missed, and a strikeout of Markakis. 2 gone.
Well-located slider to get Freddie Freeman to strike out. There's the fastball with a little late running movement to it.
He's been sitting 96-97 the whole ball game. The Rockies are 5th in baseball in pitches delivered at 96 miles an hour or greater. Number 1, the Yankees. The Rockies collectively have one of the hardest throwing pitching staffs in baseball. Here's Suzuki, and Suzuki swings and misses. Almost lost the bat. Phillips at first after singling. The only other hit was produced by Kurt Suzuki with 1 out in the second. Line drive to right, just over the outstretched glove of Mark Reynolds. Ooh, look out. Suzuki got hit in the hand. So for the first time today, the Braves have a runner at second base, and Brandon Phillips now. Here's that pitch one more time.
See the late run on the Subaru Supermo.
Oh, it hit him on the upper arm first.
It almost caught him twice.
So now Matt Adams will come up. Matt hit that line drive to the left field corner that Parra made a wonderful running catch on.
And this is where John needs to bear down and focus in, because this is the batter.
This is one of those moments in a game. Rockies clinging to a 1-0 lead. Goes off speed, misses with a curveball, ball one. The home run by Adams off the bench yesterday, his 9th career pinch hit home run. Braves have been good at that this year. They have 8 pinch home runs, which is tied for first with Milwaukee in baseball. Their club record all time's 10. Two-no count. Those numbers second and third time through, you would think will go down. They need to go down. John's been really good so far, but after the hit batter, he's got to make a pitch here to Adams, and he's behind 2-0.
Brandon Phillips at second base has been bouncing around and distracting John a bit.
Two and one. $19 home runs for Adams. That's a career high. Rockies do shift. 2-1 on Adams, and that just missed. 3-1. Buddy realizes this is one of those critical at-bats in a game, and that ball's wasted. 3-2.
It's close to 20 pitches now in this inning for John Gray. Had 10 pitches last inning in the third. 22 pitches now.
Payoff pitch, and it's lathered toward Cargo. He'll get there. So twice Adams has hit it on the screws, and twice Rockies outfielders have made nice plays. 1-0 Colorado. to you by Clean, Crisp, Coors Light. Rockies home runs this year against teams. Well, naturally, you play your division more than anybody else, so the Rockies hit a lot of home runs against their division foes, but the Braves are in there. Rockies hit 11 home runs in 6 games, 6.5 games now against Atlanta. In the 5th inning, Charlie Blackmon, who leads the club in home runs, will be first up. Charlie with 31 home runs, eclipsing his previous career high of 29 set last year, and he's right at the RBI total that he set last year of 82. First pitch is in there for a strike. Charlie, a single, and then a 4-pitch walk in the 3rd. And this is popped up and maybe playable. Suzuki makes the catch. Almost popped out of his glove. 1 out. So the Rockies in the 1st had a leadoff single by Blackmon. DJ hit a line shot right at Freeman with Charlie going, so that was a double play. 2nd inning, the Rockies had a leadoff hit by Parra. Reynolds hit a drive to the wall in right center. Great running catch out there by Inciarte. Cargo would walk. Story would double. Rockies had 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, but Walter struck out. Gray struck out, so the Rockies got just 1 there. In the 3rd inning, they had 1st and 2nd, nobody out, and did not score. So they've had opportunities to expand their lead, but it's just 1 run right now. 2-0 on DJ. 2 line drives, 1 produced a double play, 1 produced a base hit. Rockies 17-5 their last 22 encounters with the Braves. Freddie gets a little exercise, doesn't get rewarded with a catch.
Take him out for a nice jog.
Two and 1 on LeMahieu. Home run to right, home run to left last night.
DJ just must see the ball so well out of Fultonevich's hand. He's 11 for 14. DJ will make sure that there's a limo.
And if there's not that catch by Freeman, he's 12 for 14. It's ridiculous.
Make sure he gets his night's sleep, that there's a limo waiting to make sure Fultonevich gets to the yard on the days he's pitching.
Yep. Fultonevich is going to get him this time. Albies will throw out DJ. Two outs, nobody on for Nolan. Pop out and line drive to left. So the Rockies won yesterday. Unfortunately, all the teams they'd like to see lose did not. Arizona did not lose. Milwaukee did not lose. St. Louis did not lose. The Dodgers lost, which is interesting, folks. This is how good the Dodgers have been. The last time before yesterday. Hold on. Fly ball deep left field, way back. Did Nolan catch one? Not quite. Matt Adams, former first baseman, makes the catch up against the top of the wall. And it turns into a 1-2-3 inning. Fultonevich, I think, thought that Nolan hit it out. We'll finish the Dodgers story after this. 1-0 Colorado. Here's our CenturyLink high-speed challenge question. Go to AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to cast your vote. We'll show you during the post-game show who you voted for. And here's the question. Which would you add to your ballpark? This is zip line. So an amusement ride, a museum, a retractable roof, or an organist? Center field, Albies lines out to Charlie Blackmon, 1 out.
I don't like retractable roofs because most of the time people don't use them.
Right. And in Colorado, I know we get the shower every once in a while. We don't need a retractable roof, not in Colorado.
The organist is, I like a good organist. There's one here in Atlanta.
Here's my thing. It yells baseball when you hear an organ, but I'm not big on organ music. So I wouldn't vote that number 1. I think for the kids, having an amusement ride is neat. And, you know, now we're into the 25th year of Rockies baseball. I think a museum would be really neat.
Agreed. I'd like to see a museum.
Dansby Swanson struck out in his first at-bat against John Gray. John has struck out 6. He's allowed only 2 singles. Chin music, as Nolan Ryan used to call it. 1 ball, 1 strike. So yesterday, the Rockies won, the Dodgers lost. The last time that happened, June 15th. Think about that. That's like 2.5 months ago. Was the last time that the Rockies picked up a full game on the Dodgers. There's a base hit for Swanson. You know, I know this kid was struggling earlier, struggling so much that he was sent out to Gwinnett County when he's hitting .213. This is the 7th game we've seen Swanson swing the bat, and there's nothing not to like.
You can see it now. It's just quieter at the plate. Hitting over .315 in the month of August. Think about the circumstance that got him back to the major leagues. The shortstop that was taking the position and running with it was it Johan Carmago?
He went down, and that's why he got pushed back to the big league so quickly. This is Lane Adams, Fultonevich, with the high pitch count being pitch hit for here in the bottom of the 5th. 97 pitches for Fultonevich. Two strikes. A.J. Minter apparently is going to be next. Makes sense. The Rockies have 2 lefties due up next inning in Parra, and after Reynolds, Cargo. Two strikes on the pinch hitter, Lane Adams. 98 on that fastball. He's had the good heater all day.
Lane Adams has one of the best jersey nicknames in LA, Swiftness.
You know, it's amazing. We're heading toward the end of August, which means the minor league seasons are ending in the next few days. One, two, swung on and missed. Another strikeout for the Gray Wolf, his 7th.
Commemorate the inaugural Players Weekend this weekend at MLBshop.com with limited edition jerseys and tees featuring player pick nicknames. Wear the gear the players wear. Available at MLBshop.com.
And the game-worn player weekend jerseys will be auctioned at MLB.com/auctions, with 100% of the proceeds going to Major League Baseball and the Players Association Youth Development Foundation, a joint effort between the MLB and the MLBPA to improve amateur baseball and softball programs throughout the United States and Canada. That ought to raise a lot of money. Inciarte, a strikeout and a ground ball to second. Swanson at first with 2 outs.
Got him leading.
Ooh, Mark Reynolds thought he might have had him.
He's going to slow it down.
Yeah,
See if
they're going to take a look at this. Brian Jones underneath. Hard to see the hand behind the bag. Rockies will not challenge. There goes Swanson. Here's the throw on the bag. Out at second base. What a tag by Story. You want to learn of a quick release? Watch Tony Walters. I don't know if anybody gets rid of the baseball any faster than Tony.
there's nobody. Former infielder, quick snap throw to Trevor. The tag. You're going to wait a second as they're trying to figure out.
Looks out there. Well,
He wants
Brian
to see it.
Snitker wants New York to look at it. So John Tumpain, who made the call, will join Ted Barrett and put headsets on. The tag came. Watch where the he's out.
Yeah, they got him. Rockies are walking off the field. Beautiful jumbotron at SunTrust Park. Get to see it nice and clear.
They had a great one at Turner Field.
I need to get one of these for my backyard. Think my neighbors would care?
No, they come over a lot though, and it all depends how close you are with your neighbors. I think you can get one for at Best Buy for like 10 mil. Out at second base. Great throw by Walters. We'll go to the 6th. The Rockies up 1-0.
A lot of players have their routines, things that they do. And for Chad Bettis, he was taking photos of every stadium he went to. That got a little bit too much. So, our UC Health Rocky routine, he changed his routine. Listen to this.
Maybe I'll just, start collecting dirt from each place. And then the more it came around, I was like, okay, but how am I going to do that? What does that look like? And is it going to be weird or, but no, I felt like it just kind of stemmed this year. I just felt like, I really appreciate everything, especially, other teams, their support they've given me and stuff. But, I feel like it's just a little, memorabilia to collect, and I feel like I really appreciate that mound. It's very sacred and never take it for granted.
Really neat story with Chad Bettis. We saw him do it in Kansas City, and then he said, yeah, I'm going to do it in Atlanta. That happened today, guys. So he told me he's going to keep these little vials, and at some point maybe add the photos to the vials from the stadiums, but he's got a nice collection, and that means so much to him now.
Yeah, I guarantee it does. That's a good story. 2-0. A.J. Minter's making just his second big league appearance. Part of the 2015 draft class. He coming off Tommy John surgery. He's got a big left arm. He throws in the mid to upper 90s. But he's fallen behind Parra 2-0. Gerardo's 1 for 2. He scored the only run of the game back in the second on a double by Story. Foltynewicz pitched with some traffic, but a much better result than when he faced the Rockies at Coors Field and gave up 8 runs. 1 run over 5 innings, struck out 6, walked 3, just 4 hits allowed. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Parra.
It is a big fastball, 96 and 98 miles an hour. Throws a cutter off of that at about 90.
A.J. Minter out of Texas A&M. And back up the middle, another hit against a lefty for Parra. Lefty, righty, underhand, overhand, sidearm, doesn't matter.
For the season, Parra's hitting 370 off of lefties. Just keeping his front side in and gets the barrel out, beats him to the spot. 96 coming in, got 102 coming out.
This ball's crushed to left field, way back, and gone. 2-run home run. Mark Reynolds, and the Rockies now lead it 3-0. Reynolds has hit the ball hard throughout the series, and he made sure that one would be a goner.
There's no way for Ender Inciarte to catch this baseball unless he bought a ticket to the game.
This one was loud. Loud and proud off the bat of Reynolds, his 28th of the year.
Love the Sheriff's finish. Off the bat, he knew it. The Rockies with the leadoff man aboard again this inning. This time taking advantage and scoring some runs.
Cargo lifts this ball down the left field line, and it'll be caught out there by Adams. That's the first out of the inning. It'll bring up Story. Here's another look on the Subaru Supermo.
I love the approach. First pitch, waste no time on the Subaru Supermo. First time seeing the guy, but he saw that it's just fastball. It's not a lot of movement to A.J. Minter. Gets a pitch middle, and hammers it.
Story an RBI double in the second, and he fouled out to Suzuki his last at bat. A little bit of breathing room for the Rockies with that 2-run shot. The 12th home run the Rockies have hit against Atlanta pitching this year. Every home run that Reynolds hits, the Sheriff either passes or joins another big name. The big clue. Number red. Paul O'Neill coming up. Star Seinfeld. And Story is a strikeout victim. 2 outs. Tony Walters will take his turn. You don't remember Paul O'Neill on the Seinfeld episodes?
I think you're thinking Keith Hernandez.
Paul O'Neill was on there too.
Was he on there?
Yeah.
So many great episodes. Jeff Francoeur in the room next door to us. He's a close talker.
Frenchie? Oh, I watched this fan bobble the ball twice, and fortunately he was able to get the baseball still. Would have been tragic had he not gotten that ball. Oh, 1 on Walters. Way outside.
We haven't seen the freeze yet. I'm hoping today, Drew, we get to see the freeze pop out.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? That's not a daily occurrence. I completely forgot about that. We've watched so many videos of the freeze, and we haven't seen him yet. Albies has it. He throws out Tony. The Rockies get 2 runs in the inning. A base hit by Parra, and then Mark Reynolds with a big thud as he hits it over the wall in left field. Rockies 3 and the Braves nothing. By Southwest Airlines, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. SunTrust Park, the new home of the Atlanta Braves in suburban Atlanta, with Ryan Spilborghs and Mark Stout. I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies, after the 2-run home run last inning by Mark Reynolds, enjoying now a 3-0 lead. Trying to take 2 of 3 here in Atlanta, and if they do, it'd be a 3-3 trip. It began in Kansas City. It'd be their first road series win since taking 2 of 3 against the Nats in Washington at the end of July. In the bottom of the 6th inning, John Gray will face Ender Inciarte, Brandon Phillips, and Freddie Freeman. Inciarte back at the plate. He was up when Swanson got cut down stealing. And he takes a strike. Inciarte 0 for 2. Gray has struck out 7. His season best is 8. And he's ahead 0-2.
For the season, John Gray much better at getting that first pitch strike 63% of the time. We've seen him lower his walk rate down to 2.7.
And a curveball, weak contact. 1 out. Good pitch mix from John. And you made the statement off the top of the broadcast that John, in his last outing in Kansas City, threw 40% sliders and basically 40% fastballs. And we remarked that it depends what a guy feels day to day. And also, you know, some of it's predicated on the lineup and weaknesses, that sort of thing. But John obviously feels great with his heater today.
Yeah,
and we've seen this be one of those starts where it's predominantly fastballs.
I would guess at the end, and this is a good fastball hitting team. In fact, the Braves are one of the best teams in baseball against the fastball, batting average wise. He's just overpowered some of the Braves hitters with it.
Brandon Phillips takes ball 1. Phillips has one of the 3 hits for Atlanta. His base hit in the 4th. Brandon has a 12-game hitting streak going. He's hit above 350 at home since the All-Star break. There's a strike. And Phillips on the ground deep in the hole. Nolan able to knock it down. That's all. So an infield single for Phillips, and Freeman will come up. The Rockies' upcoming home schedule is brought to you by Remax. Rockies will be home for a while. It's going to be fun. Detroit in for 3 ball games. We'll have the first 2. And then it's a big 3-game set against Arizona next weekend. And then the Giants will come in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before the Rockies head out on an 8-game road trip west to LA and then back down to Phoenix for the final time this year. Freeman takes outside. A walk and a strikeout for Freeman. John Gray got Freeman with a slider, his second at bat. 2-0. Watching Phillips, he literally has a lead of about 16 inches off the bag. And John Gray falls behind 3-0.
Got to be careful.
Don't want to create traffic.
Not at all. Freddie Freeman in the first inning was in the same count. He was in a 3-0 count and fired at it.
You know what, though? You got to trust your stuff. And if Freddie Freeman hits one out of the ballpark, you still have a lead. What you don't want to do is just hand out base runners. That's a strike, 3-1. That's where you get in trouble. John has walked one in the game, and he hit Suzuki. Big fastball at 96, 3-2. John's gotten a lot of ground balls, Spilly, of late. Last half dozen ball games, he's got a ground ball rate above 56%.
Well, we're seeing a lot of late movement with John Gray, and you can see where he is in the super strike zone. He's living towards the bottom of that zone. So you'll induce a lot of weak contact, a lot of ground balls if you're locating down there.
Three-two, one out. Phillips at first. Freeman pulls this one foul. I erroneously said that John's season high for strikeouts is 8. Actually, his season high for strikeouts is 10 against the Diamondbacks much earlier this season. Career high 16. 16 Padres last year, and that gem he threw late in the season. Another 3-2, and he loses it. Tried to go back to that back foot slider, and now they're 2 on, and Inciarte coming up representing the tying run. Markakis, I have a mental block with calling Markakis Inciarte. Markakis has hit a ground ball to first and a strikeout. Swiss Army knives up. Good block by Walters.
Anytime you see a hitter swing and miss over the top of a first pitch slider, especially when it's out of the zone, you know that hitter's cheating fastball. Markakis looking to do his damage, trying to jump John Gray. Markakis has grounded into 14 double plays this season.
Ball and a strike. Markakis hits this ball to shallow left, and charging and getting it in left center is Blackman. Good read by Charlie, 2 outs.
Here comes Bud Black. He's going to have a conversation with John Gray. It doesn't look like he's going to take out Gray to face Kurt Suzuki with Chris Russin.
This may be exactly what you mentioned earlier, Spilly. a focus deal. And nobody understands pitching any better than Buddy Black. And starting pitching, which again, it's different than a guy who's a sprinter, a guy coming out of the bullpen. It's got to be somewhat awkward for the home plate umpire, Ted Barrett. He's a crew chief. Major League Baseball wants those meetings to be, you know, short and sweet. But he doesn't want to interrupt. And Teddy handled it perfectly. He let, you know, Buddy finish what he said. Tapped him on the chest. And you saw Teddy just didn't say anything. He just kind of nodded his head and jogged back behind the plate. So here we go. Suzuki with a ton of power. 2 on, 2 outs. Slider at the knees, well located.
Let's take a look at Freddie Freeman's lead at first base. He's not even looking at John Gray. He's looking at Brandon Phillips in front of him. Was getting in a sprinter stance, a freeze stance.
1 strike on Suzuki. Single, and he was also hit by a pitch. This ball to center field. Charlie has a beat on it. Good job, John Gray. 2 left on in the 6th. We march on to the 7th. The Rockies leading 3-0 behind the Gray Wolf. This is a must-see in Atlanta for all sports fans, the College Football Hall of Fame. And make no mistake, Atlanta and Georgia is a college football town and state. There was a whole lot on several blogs down here, SEC football and just college football in general, but based in this area, praising the former Georgia Bulldog and Georgia Bulldog assistant coach, now Colorado State head coach Mike Bobo, as the Rams got off to that fabulous start at home, christening their new stadium with a 31-point victory over Oregon State. It's going to be quite a tilt next Friday when CU and CSU get together. John Gray will continue on. We know that because he's hitting here. 1 ball, 1 strike. A.J. Minter's still out there. Minter gave up the 2-run home run to Mark Reynolds last frame.
Well, it's 94 pitches for John Gray, and I think the way that he competed that last at bat against Kurt Suzuki, Bud Black said, you know what, keep going. He's been pitching very well today. Two and two. He's got two tough lefties.
I'll get it out, Spilly. Two tough lefties next inning. To begin, he's got Adams, then the switch hitter, Albies. 2-2.
I don't think we're going to get to see the freeze today. A little disappointed.
You know, I think the freeze
It's
maybe
too hot?
no, I think the freeze is back in college. He's a if I remember the story right, isn't he a
Yeah.
D3 track star?
Yep.
So he's back in school. Why don't you go run? Would you blow out a hammy right now if you had to sprint?
Well, I couldn't let the person have as big of a head start as the freeze was giving.
It's giving him like half a stadium head start, half the warning track. John puts it in play. Shallow right center field. Markakis will get there.
The first 4,000 fans through the gates on Sunday, September 3rd, who donate new or gently used books will receive a discounted Rockies ticket voucher for select games in September, courtesy of the UPS store. I would have to hand-pick the people I'm racing. Like people that can't run.
Octogenarians.
Yes. Corey Sullivan would be a good choice for me. Mark Stout with that bad hip.
Corey's not an octogenarian. Oh, no. I know it's starting already. We had the BP thing earlier this year with Sully. Here's Charlie. So now we're going to have a race between you and Sully.
Sully was quicker. Took great routes in the outfield. I was a long strider. If we're going foul pole to foul pole, I'll get him. That's
Spilly, my hip is not bad. It's just fake.
Yeah, so I should blow it out.
It actually may work better.
I don't want to break your hip, Mark, when I'm
Oh.
running out there.
2-0 on Blackman. See, I'm saying I don't think if you ran a foul pole right now, I mean ran it, I'm not talking about jogged it. If you tried to go full out, you would blow out before you hit center field. Charlie with another base hit.
That guy's good.
Yep. Just keep him around. Second hit of the ball game for the Atlanta native, and with one out, that'll bring up LeMahieu. It'll also bring out the manager for the Atlanta Braves, Brian Snitker. So Minter gets a pat on the back. We'll go to break. The Rockies up 3-0. DJ, then Nolan when we return. Last inning, a 2-run home run for Mark Reynolds. Jason Mott's going to be the new arm out there. Jason threw in the ball game yesterday. It'll be his 40th appearance of the season, and it'll be LeMahieu coming up with Blackman at first.
In between pitching change, I went and researched where the freeze was.
What'd you come up with?
The freeze is training.
He's training.
He is training to become an Olympic sprinter. He was invited, I believe, by an academy out here in Atlanta, and he's been spending a majority of his time training on his craft.
He can't incorporate, an occasional hunting down, Orion Spilborgs from the outfield. That wouldn't count as training.
I can't imagine in his quest to become an Olympic sprinter, if he was to blow out chasing me down on the warning track at this beautiful ballpark. That would stink.
Yeah, not good. That misses. 2-0 on LeMahieu. DJ, 1 for 3. Single in the 3rd inning. That's in there, 2-1. Let's watch Charlie here.
On the season, Kurt Suzuki has thrown 9 of 42 base runners out.
Charlie got a huge jump, and that's going to go into center field. Charlie is up and headed to 3rd. The throw by Inciarte, safe.
Oh, wow.
That was a great throw by Inciarte, right on the bag. Charlie, a stolen base. It'll be an error on Suzuki. And now they'll have to pull the infield in with 1 out.
Suzuki on the season's only thrown out 21% of would-be base stealers.
They can't challenge this either, Spilly.
They've already lost their challenge.
He was safe anyhow.
But this is a difficult throw for a center fielder. You have to make sure you throw the ball over the base runner.
13th stolen base. The Rockies utilizing a seldom used tool, their speed, and Charlie, one of those guys naturally who could steal bases, and because of that, a great opportunity for the Rockies to add on a run. 3-2. DJ trying to lift the baseball if at all possible. Ball 4. That'll bring up Arenado. And it'll change the infield defense.
Ender Inciarte has already proven to me why he's a Gold Glove center fielder. That throw, so difficult because you have to trust that the base runner is going to slide. You can see how close that is to hitting Charlie directly in the back.
So here's Nolan, a chance to drive in his 109th run at the very least. Infield set for 2 in the middle. 1 out. Should do that to an old teammate.
Nah, he's not trying to, but we've noticed with Jason Mott, he is on the extreme third base side of the rubber. So he's trying to create some angle, create some deception.
This ball could be 2. There's 1, and there's 2. The Rockies do not score. Boy, it's amazing. The last 6 weeks, how many opportunities the Rockies have allowed to filter by without them taking advantage. So the Rockies have a 3-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning in Atlanta. performance, and John has been brilliant. No runs over 6 innings. He has struck out 7, walked just 2. He has allowed 4 singles. And he's still out there to begin inning number 7 with the Rockies ahead 3-0. Drew Goodman, Ryan Spilborghs, Mark Stout from beautiful SunTrust Park in Cobb County, just outside of Atlanta. I just noticed something, Spilly. Here's the first pitch, ball 1 to Matt Adams. He's hit the ball hard twice on the line, once to left field. Great catch by Parra early in the game, and then he lined out to Cargo with 2 men aboard. Here's the 1-0. Good fastball.
What'd you notice?
What I noticed is that, I'm not very observant, but it took me till Sunday. If you look out beyond the scoreboard, just to the left of the scoreboard, you can see downtown Atlanta.
No, it's Buckhead.
Is it Buckhead? Okay, never mind. It's Buckhead.
That was our hotel. We're looking right at it.
You know what? That building's right next to us. I'm an idiot. Never mind. You know what, folks? So I just noticed, if you look out just to the left of the scoreboard, can we get a shot of this? 2-1 on Matt Adams. Show you in a sec, Billy. Good slider. Just to the left of the scoreboard, out in the distance, about 7-8 miles away. You know what that is out there?
What is it?
It's Buckhead.
So
Upscale portion of Atlanta.
Since you're not crazy observant, I'm going to point something out that I guarantee you haven't noticed.
Probably not. And that is shot to left against the shift, and Adams has hit it hard 3 times. So a leadoff single for Matt Adams, and that'll bring up Ozzie Albies, the rookie.
That's a great piece of hitting, but here's what you probably haven't paid attention to. There is a scary-looking cow. Look at that thing.
Got a Braves hat on.
That thing has, the players have mentioned that that thing is the scariest thing they've ever seen.
You think?
Yeah.
Here comes Harry. He's got the hook.
Yeah, he has the hook.
So Pat Neshek is going to come into the ball game. And John Gray, 6 shutout innings, goes 6+, 99 pitches. Rockies up 3-0. Job well done.
The Braves in the bottom of the 7th inning. Pat Neshek in to do some work now. Pick up the Gray Wolf, John Gray. We've seen a lot of great outings from Pat Neshek in his time with the Rockies. Fastball slider. He's looking to induce at least a ground ball with Ozzie Albies coming to the plate.
Neshek got the win yesterday. He was a guy who pitched a 1, 2, 3, 8th inning, and the Rockies got 3 in the 9th. He was a pitcher of record. Came on July 26th, kind of a preemptive move by Jeff Bridich. 5 days before the trade deadline, getting one of the key bullpen pieces out on the market from the Phillies, and it's strike one on the 20-year-old rookie Albies. Albies a ground out and a line out to center, and he's behind 0-2. Neshek in his career against the Braves a 1.04 ERA. And the 36-year-old misses there, 1-2.
Well, Neshek is tough against righties, only a 207 batting against. But lefties pretty close to the same, 233.
Ozzie Albies came to the States from Curacao to begin his professional career at 16. One of 15 players from that island of Curacao to play Major League Baseball all time. Andrew Jones from Curacao, one of the all-time Braves. Dodger closer Kenley Jansen's from Curacao. Dunn has risen in the Rockies bullpen. There's the former Brave. This ball line to center field. Charlie's going to have to field it on a hop. 2 on. He's talked about it last inning. Those first 2 guys that John potentially was going to face, and it went Adams and Albies, they've been tough outs.
Albies has had a great series against his Rockies.
He now has an 8-game hitting streak after that knock, and Dansby Swanson, the tying run, is at the plate.
Not only that, looming on deck is Matt Kemp. We know the type of numbers Matt Kemp has had against the Rockies.
Well, hopefully the Rockies get it done on the hill here. But it just makes you think back to the missed opportunities. Not that you're going to cash in on every opportunity that you have a guy in scoring position, or every time, you know, a ground ball would score a run. It's just, it has been a problem for the Rockies of late. This will get an out. One gone. And Matt Kemp will come up, pinch hitting in the pitcher spot. Kemp was 1 for 4 last night. He had 3 hits on Friday night, including a 2-run home run. A single and a double also.
Kemp has faced Neshek 8 times, has 2 hits off him, including a home run.
A couple weeks ago, we were down in Miami, Spilly, and we saw the Marlins, and Giancarlo Stanton in his pronounced closed stance right now. You just don't see it much anymore. But Matt Kemp has always had kind of a closed stance.
We see it with Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton closed his stance off, and he just hit home run number 50 today.
Is that right? I missed it. Okay. 5-0. Wow.
See how closed off Matt Kemp is, but it also allows that hip and front shoulder to stay in longer.
We mentioned some. We were talking MVPs earlier. Stanton's now in that conversation. And this is softly hit to second. That's one on the first double play. Nice job by Story. You don't usually like to do it on the left side at shortstop, but he took a drop step and he fielded that beautifully. And the rally dies. Pat Neshek gets the double play ball off of Matt Kemp's bat. We'll go to the 8th. The Rockies up 3-0 in Georgia.
Part to a great play by Trevor Story. Now Trevor at shortstop, this ball is hit. There's a chance that he could take a step forward and maybe try to catch it in the air, but the back drop step, creating the angle, allowing himself to get behind the baseball so he can turn a double play. It's the heads-up awareness that we've seen with Trevor Story, and that's also why when we talk about Trevor as a Gold Glove shortstop, it's plays like that go under the radar. But you have to understand, that's a game-changing type play, especially late in the game.
That was big. Gerardo Parra, 2 for 3, 2 runs scored for the Rockies. Sam Freeman is now in the ball game. The Rockies saw him earlier in the series. Sam, the KU product. His first fastball's inside at 94, ball 1. Parra, Reynolds, and Gonzalez. Top of the 8th, 3-0 Rockies. Parra, if you're wondering, not qualified to be in the race for a batting title yet. And I don't know if he'll catch up. He's still 82 plate appearances shy. Good to see some purple mixed in down there.
There's been a lot of Rockies fans in attendance here.
I was walking the concourse earlier and saw several Rockies fans.
Had a nice tweet this morning, somebody asking me if they should wear their Nolan Arenado jersey or their Todd Father jersey. I said, try the Todd Father today since it is a nickname weekend.
Good call.
Either one was great, though.
Parra leading off here in the 8th. He's got a 2-2 count. And his first out with Mark Reynolds coming up. Who Wants Tacos fans? Follow us at AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies Taco Special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. What happened to the whole, all weekend, we've been told that Stout was going to do the zip line thing. What happened with that?
Height requirement.
Wasn't tall enough?
That's right.
Both of us couldn't do it then, huh? Reynolds' 2-run shot to left center his last time up. Gave the Rockies a little bit of breathing room. They got a run back in the 2nd. John Gray made it stand up. John's line today, folks, 6 innings plus. No runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Freeman working ahead 0-2.
We don't get the freeze, but we get freezy.
Huh?
That's Freeman's nickname on the back of his jersey.
Yeah, it is freezy. He wrote out a nice message. I'm trying to pick it off there on his sleeve. Good changeup, and he strikes out Mark. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Cargo. Cargo is 0 for 2 and a walk.
Drew, hey, Drew.
Mark, right here.
That is a children's, basically, amusement park out there in the outfield.
It is.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
It's.
But you can't go on the zip
I
line.
don't think it's not an adult place.
Yeah, you would look out of place, wouldn't you? Mark, but that, come on now.
I've
Would be the
zip
first
lined.
time.
Yeah. That's kind of my mantra.
I like all the carnival type of activities which are all baseball themed. Strike 1 on Cargo.
You know, the whack-a-mole is called the chop-a-mole for the tomahawk chop.
That's great.
That's good.
Yeah.
And they have you know, the baseball thing where you can knock stuff down, and I don't know if you win a stuffed animal here, but I thought you were doing a hit today. Hold on, Mark, after this pitch. Cargo behind 0-2. I thought you were doing a thing on the fact that you can rent a glove here.
I did. I gave my glove back. I rented it. You can rent it for 2 days. You put a credit card down, so they've got your, info. And then if you keep it or if you don't return it, they charge you $110. But I already handed it in.
You did?
Yeah. I mean, I could have kept it. I would have had a nice Mizuno glove.
I think that's a really neat little feature. And here's the zip line that Mark refuses to go on.
They're children.
So are we.
Never grow up, Mark. 3-0 Rocks.
to the pitching coach. Greg Holland last night had issues. It's his slider that is the concern of Buddy Black.
Players all the time are not playing at 100% levels. Their intensity's there, their focus is there, but physically things might be a little off, but they still compete and they still get it done. And that's sort of where we are with Greg. His mental toughness and his confidence is still such where he thinks he can get it done, which is great. That's what makes him who he is, and players, it makes them what they are because of their confidence. But as far as just pitch making and making pitches, we got to get him to a spot where the slider's more consistent.
So Dunner's on now. Mike Dunn's on the hill, and he was kind of non-committal about what would happen in the 9th inning. So we will wait and see, and we'll all find out together.
And that is, Mark, the main issue. If you think about last night, the home run that Adams hit, an 0-2 slider that really didn't do much. You think back to the balls that have really been hit hard against him of late, it's been the slider, and it does not have the same finish on it than it's had most of this year.
Nick Groke brought up an interesting point during that media scrum, because he said, hey, some of the numbers with the slider, we've seen slugging percentage jump up, not swing and misses on that pitch coincide with when Greg Holland cut his hand. Does that have anything to do with it? And Bud answered, he said, no, I don't think so. You'd have to ask Greg. I think watching Greg, to me, it's just a mechanical issue. We've seen Holland fall off when he throws a pitch. And at times when you do that, you're not getting on top of your pitch to throw the slider. You're not getting the same snap. Just like a hitter, if you pull out the front side, you pull out that front hip, you can't keep the barrel on the same plane and you can't get the same results.
I'm sure he'll make the correction. Mike Dunn with 1 out, facing Brandon Phillips. And that's a first pitch strike. Mark Reynolds. 2 outs.
Tomorrow is the next Purple Monday. Download the MLB Ballpark app to check in for your chance to win prizes.
Freddie Freeman with 2 outs and nobody on. Just you like to see Freddie. A walk, a strikeout, a walk this afternoon. John Gray on the plus side. Mike Foltynewicz, who pitched much better today than he has his last couple of starts. Gave up 1 run in 5 innings, but because John was so good, Foltynewicz has the hook for Atlanta. No swing. 2-0.
Story Walters and a pinch hitter due up in the top of the 9th inning. Rockies looking to just add another run. We still mentioned this yesterday. The Rockies, they score more than 3 runs.
Well, last night they broke the string. They had 10 straight games on the road where they had not scored more than 4 runs. And most of those games were 3 or less. So they got 7 last night, but they're back to that 3 spot.
If they score 4 more runs, they are 59-18.
And a 4-pitch walk with 2 outs. That'll bring up Markakis. 3 times Freeman has walked today. Get in a habit in baseball. You do so many night games that everything's at night, even when it's during the day. You with me?
Yep.
gorgeous day. We have a great weekend of weather in Atlanta. Humidity was very low, especially for this time of year. Markakis takes a strike. Mike's been unscored upon in 19 of his last 21 appearances. Here's the 0-1. That gentleman who is the tenor with the Atlanta Opera, man, what a voice. He's been singing here for years. That's Timothy Miller. He's a fixture in Atlanta. That's fouled off. Two outs, Freeman at first, 1-2 on Nick Markakis. To first, and Mark Reynolds, nice fielding play, steps on the bag. Mike Dunn, real good 8th inning. We move on to the 9th. The Rockies up 3-0 on Atlanta. The Rockies will have Trevor Story leading off. Sam Freeman still in the ball game on the bump for the Braves. Right now, Detroit's losing in Chicago on the south side against the White Sox 5-1. The Tigers, the Rockies' opponent tomorrow. Top of the 8th, Tampa's leading St. Louis. That would help out the Rockies quite a bit. San Francisco and Arizona just underway, no score.
Let's see if Trevor, I mean, with that dude playing so far off third base, Rockies just trying to get a run together. I'll take this.
This is a fair ball, and Trevor's going to pick it up and scoot into second base with a leadoff punch double.
Love it.
Second double today and his 4th double of the series.
And for Story, that's hitting over 300 now against lefties. The pitch off the plate. Because Trevor's keeping his front side in a lot longer, he's able to keep his barrel in the zone long enough to make contact with it.
Yeah, you got to figure Tony will be bunting here.
Well, for Tony, it's not a situation where you need to surprise the infield. He can
reveal early.
He can show early and make sure you just get the bunt down. Unless you're just trying to get the bunt for a hit, but that's not what's needed here. This is a sacrifice situation.
Blake in the on-deck circle. Rockies trying to get a grand slam lead for the bottom of the 9th inning. Inside. Jake McGee, who got the save yesterday, will handle the 9th inning this afternoon.
This run is huge.
Big. Rockies just 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. That was Story's double in the second, which got the Rockies their first run.
I mean, I mentioned the numbers. With the Rockies score 3 runs or fewer, the team record is 11-41. If they score 4 or more, they're 59-18.
Just flips it completely around.
I'm not great at math, but that's like a 50-game swing based on 1 run.
That bunt goes foul. 2-2.
Let's see if Tony tries to put down the bunt with 2 strikes.
You know, left on left, I know Tony's a position player. I might keep it on. Swing it. And Freeman makes a great play. Good read by Story. He has to clear the pitcher. It did not. And Freeman throws out Walters. No advancement.
Well, Tony unable to get the bunt down. Makes a good swing, but Freeman basically taking a hit away from him and taking the quality of productive out away from Tony too.
So with Valleca coming up, Freeman will depart. He goes an inning and a third. 1 out, a runner in scoring position in the 9th. The Rockies up 3-0. Today on the club, right after our Toyota postgame show, Ian Desmond, DJ LeMahieu will spend their off day in Kansas City visiting the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. We tagged along on that excursion. Buddy Black will reunite with his old teammate, the guy who could play a little bit, George Brett. And Charlie Blackmon reflects on growing up here in Atlanta. That's all on the club and much, much more today after the Toyota postgame show. Jim Johnson is in, and his first pitch is in there for a strike on Pat Valaika. At second base, Story, he led off with a double. Top of the ninth, the Rockies up 3-0. 34-year-old Jim Johnson, the former all-star closer for Baltimore. He saved 101 games in 2 years with Baltimore, 12 and 13. 51 in 2012, 50 in 2013. O2's fouled off.
This guy was known as having a super sinker. 49 innings pitched, 56 strikeouts and 19 walks, but really lost the closer's role here after blowing so many saves.
This ball lined to center field, right at Inciarte. 2 outs. Now the Rockies 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position today. It's a trend that needs to change. Charlie Blackmon coming up. Charlie, a single, a walk, fouled out, and another single. Typical day at the office. He's been on base 3 times. They're going to walk Charlie intentionally and go right on right against LeMahieu. DJ 1 for 3 and a walk. And DJ slowly hit ball to short, and it's bobbled. Story for a moment thought about coming home. An error on Swanson. And the only reason he had to slam on the brakes is Albies came up with the baseball pretty quickly. So the base is loaded for Arenado on the miscue by Swanson.
Let's see if it took any sort of in-between hop on him. He had plenty of time just based on DJ's running ability. He flat out missed it.
16th error for Swanson.
Oh no, it got in between that lip in the dirt. It did. It hit right in the spot for infielders. The lip between the grass and the dirt.
Nolan a pop out, a line out, a drive to the wall and left, and he grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. So he's 0 for 4. 1-1.
This is where the RBI hog has to come out.
Career .321 hitter against the Braves. Ground ball deep in the hole. Swanson makes the play. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Rockies need 3 outs to shake hands. They're up 3-0. Southwest Airlines, say yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By the Tavern downtown, get 2-for-1 draft beers after Rockies home games with your same-day ticket. By StubHub, looking for great seats, head to StubHub, the official ticket marketplace of the Colorado Rockies. And by Papa John's, use the code ROXWIN for 50% off at papajohns.com the next day. Phil Negro, immortalized here outside SunTrust Park. The Rockies will send Jake McGee to the hill here in the 9th inning. Kurt Suzuki, Matt Adams, Ozzie Albies. Jake got his second save of the year last night after Greg Holland gave up a 2-run home run to Adams and then a base hit. Jake came on with 1 out, and he got a 6-4-3 ground ball double play off the bat of Brandon Phillips. Suzuki a single and was hit by a pitch. He's 1 for 2. 3-0 Colorado. 3 runs, 8 hits. And the first pitch misses. Ball 1. No runs, 6 hits, a couple of errors on Atlanta. The Rockies have not committed an error. You heard Buddy Black in that soundbite that Mark tossed to an inning ago on his closer situation, more specifically Greg Holland. He said that Greg would not pitch today. He said he's going to work on his slider. He said, but you know, it's not like a position player. You can go, all right, I'm going to take more ground balls. You don't have an endless supply of, you know, pitches you could throw to work on something, but he's going to work on that. His cargo's going to grab this baseball, 1 out. And he said, in terms of who will close going forward, he said it's a day-to-day thing, and he did not eliminate Greg Holland. He said he's going to look at the situation. And Buddy has a great feel, clearly, for pitching, and that's how he is going to base what the Rockies are going to do in the near term. So tomorrow, you could very well see in a save situation Greg Holland out there. You may see somebody else, but he was pretty emphatic, saying that they're going to go to work on that slider with Greg Holland. 1-0 on Matt Adams. Adams hit the ball hard 3 times, 1 for 3. This ball's in the air to pretty deep center field. Charlie going back, and he'll make the catch mid-track. He's had another splendid series offensively and defensively. 2 gone, nobody on in the 9th for Atlanta.
He's going to sleep hard on the plane today. Hopefully it's a happy flight. One more out to have that happy flight.
It's always nice to return home. And Charlie's so true to his roots. So many of his friends, as Albies takes inside, you know, high school friends, some from junior college, friends from Georgia Tech. Let's talk about Charlie having wide interests. He's got a great curiosity for life, and so he has a ton of friends that are outside the world of baseball. I know he's had a great time this weekend. 1 ball, 1 strike on Albies. 2-1. You can see on the Subaru strike zone, he's got a 2-1 count, but all 3 pitches have been outside the Subaru strike zone. Albies extended his hitting streak with a single in the 7th to 8 games, best of his brief career. He's the only player in the big leagues, or at least when he came up, he's the only player, Spilly, that was born in 1997.
Come on.
Yeah.
97 was when MTV was still cool.
Was it? 97 seems like yesterday. 2-2.
Ooh, nice pitch.
Where is that? Just outside the Subaru strike zone.
Right. Right on the edge of the Subaru strike zone. Well received by Tony Wolters. We always talk about how he can get so low so he can lift those pitches up.
And this ball's well hit to center field. Charlie will be tested a little bit. He's got it. The Rockies have taken 2 of 3 in Atlanta. On a Sunday afternoon, they earn a shutout, 3-0. They got 6 fine innings from John Gray. The bullpen was terrific, and just enough offense, led by Mark Reynolds' 2-run home run. Another save for Jake McGee, his 3rd. Ryan Hannigan giving a little massage to the Gray Wolf. It's all good. Rockies win today 3-0. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. John Gray won his 6th ball game, 6+, 5 hits, just 2 walks. He struck out 7. Another strong performance for Gray against the Atlanta Braves. Once again, the final score, the Rockies have defeated Atlanta 3-0. They've enjoyed their time here at SunTrust Park. It's time for us to take you to our Denver studios. Here's Jenny and Huey. Jenny, all yours.